I do see some changes happening, small changes, but in the small changes are where the big differences are generally made. Today, I'm going to work on one leg hobbling. This is something that I don't do with every horse. This is something that you don't have to do with every horse. It would not hurt every horse to do this. There are risks involved when you hobble a horse, period. I guess there's risks in everything you do with our horses, no matter what it is. But there are risks to the horse and there's risks to me, to the human. Anytime you're kind of restraining a horse and kind of hobbling a horse up. But it can be very powerful medicine to a horse. It can teach a horse to wait. It can teach a horse to slow their mind down and think their way out of a problem. Especially these very anxious horses that they just can't slow their brains down. Their brains are going a million miles a minute. They don't have a neutral. They just got sixth gear and they're trucking down the highway a million miles an hour. So there's only so many things that I can do to help a horse. One of the best things that we can do for a horse is to set up a puzzle for them to understand and for them to figure out, or for them to figure out so that they can understand. But the key word in that is them. There's a couple ways you can do this. I can run this rope over her girth area without the saddle, run it over her back and under her belly, and I can one leg hobble her that way. I can actually, and if you want to, I can make a video of it, but I can actually make another hobble with her leg up, and I can kind of wrap her knee area, and that's another way to one leg hobble a horse. But the other way, since she's already saddled and she needs to carry the saddle as many times as she can, is I can just set this rope over the saddle horn. Told you things can get a little bit crazy out here. She's fighting that pressure. She's very claustrophobic. I mean, all this is just claustrophobicness. Good girl, give her a release there. All of this is claustrophobic issues. She feels the pressure. She has no idea what to do, so she fights it. Does it with a saddle, has done it with a rider. We don't need that. So what I need to do is I need to find a way to cause her to get in a bind, slow her brain down, quit fighting, and end on some relaxation. Every time she bucks her rider off, every time she bucks for the saddle on, every time she bucks or boogers out with a one leg hobble, that's nice right there. Then her release is by fighting through it. I don't need her fighting through it. I need her to do that. No matter the bind she's in, she needs to think her way through it. So I'll lead her on. So sometimes not enough pressure is applied to warrant a release in the pressure. So in other words, she really needs some horses, and I think she's one of them, because she's blown through pressure so many times in her life. She needs to feel pressure, really figure out and understand the depth of pressure before she gets a release. And then anytime I ask a horse, to do something like this, her emotions got up, her adrenaline's up, I'll kind of reset them by just kind of walking them out. So the depth of understanding is super, super important with your horses. And it makes itself more evident on the horses that have just kind of gotten away with or learned or just having a hard time yielding from that pressure anywhere you put it on their body. I don't mean to be repetitive for you guys that are watching, but I have to be repetitive for the horses. And kind of when I started this deal, this Patreon deal, I didn't want to do a bunch of editing. I wanted you guys to see the real deal. I think it says that on the front page of the Patreon, the real deal horsemanship education. To see what we go through, to see what the horses go through, to see how we manage this stuff. No smoke and mirrors. I don't like to see a horse go through this, but I sure don't like to see a horse spend their life the other way.